They say love is gentle. They say it heals wounds you didn't even know you carried. And for me, in the beginning, that felt true. When I first met him, his smile felt like sunlight after years of standing in the cold. His words were soft, almost careful, as though he knew the weight my heart had been carrying long before we ever crossed paths. And I, like a fool desperate for warmth, let myself believe. His name was Adrian, tall, confident, the kind of man whose presence filled a room without effort. His laughter drew people in, and his eyes. Oh, those eyes. They had a way of making you feel like you were the only person that mattered in the entire world. And me? I was ordinary, or at least that's what I thought. A young woman in her late 20s, working quietly, living quietly, carrying scars that no one could see. When Adrian looked at me, really looked, it felt like he was telling me, "You're not invisible anymore." The early days were magic. Every text he sent felt like a love song written just for me. Every call ended with promises of forever, and every evening together was wrapped in laughter, stolen glances, and whispered secrets we swore no one else would ever know. He said my love was pure. He said it with reverence, as if it humbled him. He told me, "You're the kind of woman men don't deserve, but I'll spend my life proving I'm worthy." And I believed him. I let down walls I had built brick by brick over years of disappointment and heartbreak. I let him in, into my thoughts, my dreams, my fears. He knew about the nights I cried myself to sleep, the mornings I woke up numb, the way my trust was a fragile thread I guarded with everything I had. And he promised, oh, how he promised, never to be the one to break it. For a while it was perfect, the kind of perfect that makes you forget that storms even exist. My friends said they had never seen me glow like this. My family whispered about wedding bells when they thought I couldn't hear. And Adrian? He leaned into it all with a kind of devotion that seemed unshakable. He brought me flowers for no reason. He showed up in the rain just to walk me home. He wrote little notes and tucked them into my bag, so that in the middle of the day I'd find words like, "I miss you," or "I'm proud of you." It wasn't just love, it was worship, or so I thought. But here's the thing about lies. They don't show up as thunder on a stormy night. Number. Lies are quiet. They slip in like shadows at sunset, almost invisible, until you realize the light you trusted is already gone. Looking back, I should have noticed. The way his phone would light up at odd hours, and how he'd flip it over with a casual smile, pretending nothing was wrong. The times he canceled plans last minute, claiming work had swallowed him whole. The way his eyes sometimes wandered when he thought I wasn't looking. They say trust is fragile. It takes years to build, but only a single crack to weaken the whole foundation. And with Adrian, those cracks began quietly. It started with the little things. The way his phone was always on silent whenever we were together. At first I thought it was sweet, like I was his only focus. But soon the sweetness began to taste bitter. Because even when his phone buzzed late at night, or when it lit up during dinner, he would glance at it with eyes too quick, then turn it face down. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself I was overthinking. After all, hadn't he promised me honesty? Hadn't he sworn that my love was something he would never betray? But love can silence reason. And mine did. One evening, we were supposed to meet for dinner at my place. I had cooked his favorite meal, pasta, garlic bread, even a bottle of wine we had saved for a special night. But when the clock struck 8 and there was no knock at the door, I called him. No answer. I called again. Still nothing. Finally, after nearly an hour, he texted me. "Sorry, love. Work emergency. Don't wait up." And maybe that would have been enough if I hadn't seen the faint reflection of him through a cafe window earlier that evening when I was walking home. He wasn't in the office. He wasn't at work. He was sitting at a table with someone I didn't recognize, a woman. Their heads leaned too close. Their laughter was too light. His smile, the smile that once belonged only to me, was painted across his face like a mask he wore for anyone willing to look. I froze. My chest tightened, my throat dry. I stood across the street, invisible in the blur of traffic, and for the first time, I didn't recognize the man I loved. But when he texted me later about his emergency, I said nothing. I didn't confront him. I didn't scream. I didn't accuse. Because my sister once told me, silence is the sharpest weapon a woman can hold. So I stayed silent. But inside, the first scream had already begun. Days turned into weeks, and the shadows grew darker. Adrian was suddenly busy, more often than not. Our weekends together became rare, stolen hours instead of days of laughter. His once warm eyes carried a distance I couldn't reach, and yet, when he was with me, when his hand found mine, when his lips brushed my forehead, he was the same Adrian. Sweet, gentle, convincing. That's the cruelest thing about lies. They don't erase the love, they twist it. They make you question your own heart. One night, I decided to test him. Adrian, I whispered, my head resting on his chest, do you ever feel like you're hiding something from me? His body stiffened for the briefest moment. So brief, most would have missed it, but not me. My love was pure, which meant I felt everything. He laughed softly, kissing my hair. Of course not, love. Why would I hide anything from you? But that single heartbeat of stiffness told me the truth his lips never would. And so, the doubt grew roots. My friends noticed my silence. You've changed, one of them said. You don't laugh the way you used to. How could I? When every smile from Adrian felt like a question, and every word he spoke felt like a test I couldn't pass. The shadows of doubt were no longer shadows. They were walls, closing in around it. But I wasn't ready to let go. Not yet. My love was still pure, still hopeful, still willing to fight. I told myself, maybe it's stress, maybe it's just words, maybe I'm imagining it. But the whispers in my gut grew louder, and I would soon learn. My imagination wasn't lying to me. Adrian was, because the shadows he cast were hiding secrets darker than I could have ever prepared for. They say the truth always finds a way to slip through the cracks, and when it does, it shatters everything in its path. For me, that moment came on a night colder than winter itself. Adrian had promised we'd go away for the weekend, a quiet cabin by the lake, just the two of us. No distractions, he had said with a smile, just love. I clung to that promise. Maybe it would heal us. Maybe the shadows I felt would finally fade. But promises are fragile things, especially when they're spoken by a man who has already broken them. That Friday, he kissed me on the cheek before work and whispered, pack light. I'll pick you up after dinner, so I packed. I waited. Hours passed. My phone stayed silent. The clock ticked. And the night swallowed my hope. Finally, long after midnight, I gave up. I curled into bed, my suitcase sitting untouched by the door. But fate has a cruel way of delivering the truth. The next morning, my phone buzzed. A friend had sent me a photo that didn't belong to me. There he was, Adrian, my Adrian. At a restaurant, his arm around another woman's shoulders, her smile wide, his eyes sparkling in a way I hadn't seen in months. The caption read simply, "Thought you should know."